Oh, we have the wonderful Kate Herbert.
And now we have the intrepid theatre reviewer, playwright, critic and circus runaway, Kate Herbert.
What have you been intrepidating about, Kate?
Intrepidating.
Oh, it's a new verb, love it.
Yeah.
I have a couple of things that I've seen. I've talked before about National Theatre at Home and National Theatre Live, and there are a couple of things. I think the Dr. Strangelove is just about to pop into the cinemas, or has done this week maybe.
What, the old Kubrick?
The stage version
A
of
stage
it from
version?
National Theatre Live.
Oh, my God.
It hasn't hit the National Theatre at Home yet, unfortunately, because we've got our little subscription. I'm going to extend it because it is marvellous.
It is. I just subscribed yesterday.
Good
After
for
you
you.
told me you were doing Vanya.
Yeah.
I had a look and I thought, and I just looked at everything that's on. I thought, oh, for $18 a month.
Yep.
There's more here. I could spend so much time.
Absolutely.
And,
there is so much. And I've watched a couple this last week since we got the subscription. And I've been to see Lord of the Rings as well. But I think I'll start with Vanya, which was my special treat. It's why I really wanted to get the subscription. So it's Vanya, the adaptation of Uncle Vanya, Chekhov's play, which a lot of people I'm sure will either know of, have read or have studied or have seen.
Yes.
Yep. Simon Stevens, one of my favourite English playwrights, has done an adaptation of it. And it is now on National Theatre at Home, so you can watch it. It's worth just that. Buy the subscription
who's
just
in
for
the
that.
cast?
It is, yes, it's dozens of people. Oh, except they're all Andrew Scott.
Ah.
And I must say, it's remarkable. It's a 5-star, 5 out of 5-star show, even on screen, even on a telly screen at home. It is remarkable that I kept thinking as I was writing about it, who played, oh, hang on, he played that as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my head, they transform. And yet, Nick, when you see it, you'll, I hope, see that he just uses very subtle physical and vocal changes and shifts, not the big, enormous, put on a hat, put on makeup, change your voice, put it through a loudspeaker, etc. Just little subtle movements in vocal register or attitude, or the Sonia has a slightly timid, which she is, she's a slightly timid voice and manner, and she rings a dishcloth or a little dusting cloth. Vanya pops on sunglasses and rants a bit in his sort of drunken way at various points. And Astrov, who's known as Michael, the doctor, is a mean drunk, and he lowers his register for him.
And this is all...
It's all him.
And
it's
is this
all
actually live filmed? So there's no edits?
This is live
or
film,
anything?
no edit. They must use, I don't know how many cameras.
Yeah.
I should read about that, how many cameras they use. But they film a particular show with an audience. You see the audience at the beginning. It cuts to an interval. There's a bit of babble about National Theatre beforehand. You can skip through that. But it is an extraordinary experience being in the theatre while watching it on the screen.
I've seen some of their productions at the cinema, and they are amazing because it's not like they've suddenly turned them into a movie or a screen event, but you do get a sense of intimacy, which I suspect you don't get so much, like really close up to the faces, which you won't get as a live audience. It's a bit naughty, really.
Yeah, unless you're right down the front.
But I don't like being right down the front.
No, I
because
don't
then
either.
You're too close, so you're not getting the scope.
Yeah, and I'd like to sit on an aisle, so it's for various reasons,
Yes.
and it's a quick escape,
We don't
etc.
need
But
to ask about that.
if it's an aisle in the middle, that's good. But you're seeing the show, as you say, you see it from a distance, but you also get close-ups.
So you're relying a lot on the director of the
camera work as
camera work
well.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Now, why a one-person version?
From what I recall, I listened to an interview with the director Simon Yates, whose work is that his name? Sam Yates, talking to an ABC program last year, and he said, my understanding is that they brought in a cast, or they were doing a reading of it, and someone wasn't there, so Andrew Scott did another role, and it kind of developed from there. Where
Everyone's slowly sculpted out of the room.
I don't know. No, it was on.
We don't need
I think it was
anymore.
other occasions as he developed the script.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the details. I'll listen to it again. But my understanding was that slowly, Sam Yates came to the view that this could be interesting. And Simon Stevens, maybe in discussion with directors, said, why don't we try it? And I think called Andrew Scott and said, how do you feel about having a go at it by yourself?
Oh, why not?
So,
yes.
anyway, yes.
There's a, I'm not about to say vogue, that's an unfortunate word, but the one single-handed performances are really becoming something. And I did ask someone last year about it, who we interviewed, I can't remember, but I said, what's the passion for two-handers and single-handers? He said, money.
Money.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
But also it gives opportunities for actors, to really demonstrate an extraordinary...
This is virtuosic, and if you're doing this number of characters and shifting from one to the other, it shows an enormous skill, dexterity, nuance, subtlety, complexity, vocal, physical skills. It's an acting masterclass, really, to watch.
And it comes along with fantastic direction.
The direction is beautiful. It is so unobtrusive. It is deceptively simple, Nick. I just found his work beautiful. And Simon Stevens, I use him when I'm teaching playwriting, interviews with him talking, and he's so erudite and articulate about playwriting.
And Vanya is just one of the huge number of treatises and great looking on national.
National Theatre at Home.
Yeah.
I also watched People, Places and Things, and it's a beautiful piece with. It feels like a solo, but it's not. Denise Gough, Irish actor, plays a woman who is very clever, very, very. Interesting and intelligent and educated, but she's a heroin addict, or everything addict. And you see her going into the chaos, and characters playing, five of them play her in her withdrawal period, where they're crawling out of the furniture and out of the floor, and it's spooky.
Lovely, yeah.
Then she goes into rehab, so it's all about dealing with rehab. It is people, places and things that you shouldn't
And there's some
see,
wonderful looking performances of Shakespeare too, which I'm really keen to
lots
catch
of them,
up with.
lots and lots of them.
So speaking of classics,
Yeah.
you've been to the musicals.
I've been to one particular one, The Lord of the Rings, A Musical Tale.
Now, Philippa, are you a fan of Lord of the Rings?
I read it when I was in primary school.
Primary school, clever girl.
No, I was talking to Nick before, just voracious reader as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think it was just an escape for me as a kid, just reading and just being away and just, The Hobbit, grade 4. And then... Yeah, it doesn't mean I understood it.
No,
I
but
just read
still,
it.
it's fantasy and it's fun. And I was older. A friend of mine who had an aunt who was a librarian gave it to him, and I said, "Okay, I'm going to read it 18 or something."
Yeah.
I read it in about all three of them in about 4 days.
Yeah, and that's that escapism, and then a lifetime of heroic fantasy.
So you might find this interesting for people who don't know the books. It'll be still reasonably clear.
Who doesn't? Who hasn't seen the films?
Well, who knows? I've seen them dozens of times. But this is ambitious and it's vivacious on stage. It's what we call a soft opening with the cast all on stage playing music and dancing and rolling up and down the aisles. A bit like Christmas Carol. Remember Christmas Carol?
Yeah.
When they're all there at the start. You come in, it's all happening already. So they're dancing and singing, and it's like it's UK, British folk infused sort of songs, even a little bit Celtic. And it is really fun. And the performers, they're all actors, singer, dancers, but some of them are musicians as well. So they're coming on with cellos and violins and accordions and guitars and everything, percussion. It is marvellous to watch. But sometimes the stage gets a bit crowded. But Lord of the Rings, if you don't know the story, I'm not going to tell you.
No, we haven't got 4 days.
No, it's exactly. But it jams all 3 books into 3 hours.
Wow.
And the second half feels a little bit like, here are the last 2 books, let's jam in all the threads. It's difficult to make a novel into a play. I've talked about this before. There are too many threads in a novel. However, songs as well. It has some really high points. There's puppetry. The dark riders, the weird spectral horses are really interesting. They gallop across the stage in their sort of, skeletal thing. I tell you what, I saw connections with J.K. Rowling. I could see how her, history with Tolkien came out in Harry Potter. The Lawrence Boxall as Gollum is a show stealer.
Yeah.
I think because he is so insular, it's him, he's a character that's quite different from hobbits and kings and dwarves and etc. He is so wretched, and the voice harks back to Andy Serkis in the movie.
Yeah.
You hear it, and it's still a unique performance, but he is a steal. The young man Ramian Newton plays Frodo. He is also lovely to watch. Charming, brings an emotional core to the story. The journey for poor Frodo is, what it's like. He goes from adventurous and courageous to broken by the end. Terence Crawford's Gandalf is suitably majestic and authoritative. Rob Mallett's Aragorn I loved. Reminded me of Viggo Mortensen. I'm a bit of a Viggo Mortensen fan.
Yeah, he's
compelling.
quite handsome.
Yes, dignified, rich voice, bit handsome. Gemma Ricks I was waiting for, playing Galadriel, and she sings the main song, and the voice is beautiful, the song is lovely, and she really commands attention. I didn't like the staging, and I thought the costume was a terrible mistake. This is one of the issues. There are problems where some of the choreography gets a bit cheesy, some of the costumes.
Do you think the fans will notice?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, there were fans with pixie ears and elven ears and chain, what do you call it, the Mistral mail, and people dressed as hobbits and all sorts of a lot of Gandalfs and T-shirts, etc. But it was, bits of it were lacklustre and other parts were extraordinary and exciting, but it's fun and it's vivacious and people will enjoy it, I think.
So if you're not going for high theatre, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you don't want every moment of Lord of the Rings, go for it. And if you're happy to sort of put aside the fact that the giant spider feels a bit awkward.
How do you have an awkward spider?
Yeah, well, it's sort of legs and big sparkly eyes pop out from the back screen, and it feels a bit wavy, like claws of a lobster or something. So there were some parts that were terrific, really.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds like a pretty good night out.
It's
though.
fun.
Right, we're just going to play one little thing, and
Yes.
I'll be back in a sec.